Okay, so in last class we saw how to create some solids using solid surfaces and curves, right? So in today's class we are going to see how to analyze the solids that we have created yesterday. Okay, so what you're seeing here is I have just created a simple solid. I haven't just translated and rotated. I just did a translate and I just make a solid. Okay, so now let's do some analysis in these solids that we have created. Yeah, it's recording fine. So first, to analyze this solid, so first let me isolate one of the elements from this, because this has two solids, right? So list dot first item to extract the first item or the last item, whatever we want, as per our need. Okay, so now I have extracted this first solid. Fine. So now we can do some analysis with this solid. Okay, so let me hide this. Okay, so first we can find out the edges of these geometry. Okay, so for that, just search edge dot curve geometry. Okay, but you can see here the input is edge, not an item, right? Here the output is an item, but here the input is an edge. So we have to connect the edge first. So before that we have to extract the edges. Okay, so to extract the edges we can use a node called topology dot edges. What it says, it extracts the edges of a topology. Okay, so this is my topology and connect this to this. So as soon as I connect this, you can see that all the edges were in, like, it's in dark color, right? You can just see if I unview this one. Now what you're seeing here is the edges of the solid that we have created. So basically this topology is used to extract edges, faces and vertices within the geometry that we are going to input. Okay, so in this case this is our input and we have extracted the edges. You can also see here these are the points, all the edges, the coordinates of all the edge points. Okay, so this is one. Next, let's say that you want to get the faces of the surface. So just search for face dot surface geometry. So it's similar, just search for topology dot faces. Similarly, we want vertices as well. So let it be here. So connect this to this and connect this to this. So now what you're seeing here is just a face. Actually, this is not a solid. You're just seeing the surfaces, the faces, like this is for top face, this is left, this is front face, this is back, and this is bottom. Okay, so what you're seeing here now is not just a solid, just the faces of this geometry. And here you can see the coordinates of all the surfaces. You can see there are 6 surfaces, 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, next is vertices. And search here vertex dot point dot geometry, the point where the vertex is located. So now we can unhide this one and we can unhide the edges as well. We can unhide this as well. We can literally hide all the thing. Okay, so now what you're seeing here is the vertex point geometry, these 4 points. And you can see in the bottom also we have 4 points, but I haven't hidden the bottom geometry. If you want to see that, we can hide the bottom geometry with this so that we can see all the vertices, all the corner points basically. See, Okay, so we know how to extract the edges of a geometry, how to extract the faces of a geometry, and how to extract the vertices of a geometry. Similarly, we can also do some other functions like area, volume, and centroid. So let's see how to do that. So since it's a solid, just search for solid.area. So what it says, returns the surface area, the sum of all the areas of all the faces, right? So click this. So this is our input. So basically we can hide this one. So we don't want this. We're just going to analyze this simple solid. Okay. So surface.area. So now we can see we got the total surface area on this solid. You can see 1008.94 units, the units which are using the Revit. Okay. So this is, we got the area of the solid. Similarly, you can also find the volume of the solid. Connect this to the solid and you can see the total volume of the solid, which is 2000 here. Similarly, you can also find the centroid of the solid. So what you're seeing here is just a point, right, in x6 and y6 and z10, right? Actually, but you cannot see this. So let me hide this one. So now in the middle, you can able to see one point. Yes.
In the area, it hasn't calculated the area of the bottom, or has it?
Yeah, it has calculated all the faces of the area. Okay. You can see here it itself says returns the surface area, the sum of all the areas of the all the faces. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So what we are seeing is the solid dot centroid. So here you can see there's a center point here. So we just extracted this center point. So this is used to find the center of gravity of a solid. Okay, so which can be really helpful for some certain engineering calculations like where to locate the crane pick point on a geometry. Okay, so these are some of the analysis that we can do with the help of a solid. So let me group these. Okay, fine. So next we can do some analysis with the curves, not the solids. Okay, so let me close this. Okay, since it's running automatically, this starts running, so we can wait. Okay, it's not responding, so let me close and open again. Okay, we can create a new curve first. Let's begin by point by coordinates. Let's give a set of points. Let's say okay, so let this be my first point, and line by start point end point. This is the start point. Can give this is the end point. Okay, so we have created for our first line, and let's say 12, 10, and 15. Okay, fine. We have created two lines with 4 points, right? So now we can do some surface by loft. So it is similar to the solid by loft. Okay, so just search for surface by loft, surface dot by loft. It requires two cross sections. First we have to create a list of these items. So search for it, add a new list, first item, the second item. So we have a list of 2 points. Connect this to this. So as soon as you connect this, you can see we have created a surface, right? So what you're seeing here is just a surface. Okay. So let's begin by analyzing 2 line objects. Okay. So first I'm going to use curve.pointed parameter. So it gets a point on a curve at a specific parameter between start parameter and the end parameter. Okay. And this is my curve. But instead of like this, actually this is not the curve, this is the solid, sorry, the surface. So we have to give the curve as an input. Fine, we can give this curve, and for the parameter I'm using a number slider. Or you can use the number itself. Let's say 1. So let me hide this one. Let's give the maximum as 1, and let's try. Okay, so now what you're seeing here is that we have created a point at this curve. What you're seeing here is the red point on this curve, and I have given a number slider. So as soon as I move these number slider, you can able to see this point is moving along the curve that we have defined. It is even going beyond it because I have given the minimum value as -1. If you give the minimum value as 0, it will not go beyond this point. Okay, so it starts from here and ends in here. So we can able to move this point between these two start point and end point. So this is used to extract a point at a parameter. Okay, so this will be helpful in the upcoming classes. Okay, so just remember this. Fine. So okay, so next we can analyze the surface, which is similar to what we have done with the solids. So for the surface, you can also search like surface dot area, surface dot perimeter, and perimeter curves. Just connect these and you will get all the datas. So now what you're seeing here is the surface area of this surface by loft, and you got the perimeter here. If I hide this one, you can able to see the perimeter and perimeter curves. So perimeter curves means list of 4 curves that make up this perimeter. So as you can see, there are only 2 perimeter here, but when I connect this perimeter dot curves, you can able to see all the 4 perimeters of the solid, because this is our solid, right? So now we have 4 perimeters of this solid. So we can extract, we created the solid with just 2 lines, right? But what if you want to extract the perimeter of this solid? You can able to do with the help of surface dot perimeter curves. So when I hide this, you can able to see all the 4 perimeter lines. And you can also get the points, the coordinates. Okay. So these are for analyzing. And there's one more thing. We have created a point at parameter, right? Previously, we just use this number slider to create a point at a curve, right? So what if you want to create a point in a surface? So for that, search surface dot point at parameter. So here's the surface, and we have 2 inputs, which is u and v. Okay, so let me explain what is u, v, and w. So u, v, and w are commonly used axes in the 3D modeling tool to describe the local coordinates, or the coordinates that are specific to one object. So here the object we are working is a single object. So when we use the XYZ coordinates, we are referring to the global XYZ coordinates. Those axes apply to all the elements to the scene or a project. But think of U, V, and W axis of this node as the X, Y, and Z coordinates, but that applies only to this surface. Okay, so U and V coordinates doesn't align with the global coordinates X and Y. Okay, so what Dynamo is doing here is that it is thinking about a wrapped grid that stretches perfectly across the surfaces. That is, the equivalent of the x-axis on the surface is called u, and the equivalent of y surface is called v. So now let's try something new, like let's try to extract multiple points on the surface using this pointed parameter node. Okay, so for the u and v, we can use a list of numbers instead. Okay, we can use a list of numbers to generate, like for an example, we can use a range node. So we can use a range node, and we can give some number inputs. Let's say 0, 1, and with a step of 2. So start value 0 and is 1 with a step of 0.2. Okay. So connect this list of points to the U surface. So as soon as I connect this, let me unhide this one. This, we don't need it. Okay. So as soon as you connect this, you can able to see that we have created 4 points, like starts from 0 and ends with 1 with step value of 0.2. So 0.2 we have a point, and at 0.4 we have a point, 0.6, 0.8 and 1, right? That's what we gave here. 0, 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8 and 1. Okay. Similarly, I will give the same input to the V as well. Okay. So when we connect U and V, we end up with a diagonal line instead of the U and V, right? So to create this, Dynamo is matching up both the range list of data by the index. So now we are going to touch on a programming concept that is called lacing, which deals with how Dynamo matches data between list of data. So for that, so click this one and right click, and here you can see the option called lacing, right? And let me zoom in. This is lacing, and you can see there are three options. One is the shortest, one is the longest, and one is the cross product. And sometimes you may also have an auto. So auto means it just guesses which one of these three makes the most sense for the list that we have provided. Okay. Next is the shortest. So shortest means it matches the data by the index. So for an example, so here we have given the two, both the same, right, for the U and V. So it will just match the smallest number with U from the U value and the V value, and it will just creates a point. So what it creates is that smallest value 0, 0, and the smallest value 0.2 in X and 0.2 in Y. So 0.2 in U and 0.2 in V, which is will be ended up here, and 0.4 in U and 0.4 in V, which will be ended here, and 0.6 at U and 0.6 at V, which will be here. Similarly, it just creates with the help, it just matches the data by the index. Okay, the shortest. Similarly, if we give longest also, it will just match with the longest index. But we are going to use cross product. Okay, so cross product means it just pairs each item in the list with all the other item in the list. Okay, so in other words, it just finds all the possible combinations of both the list items. So all these points are now organized as a nested list. So let me give this cross product. So as soon as I give cross product, you can able to see there are lots of points created. So as I said, it finds all the possible combination of both list. So all these points are now organized in a nested list. We can see here it has a nested list of all these points. So how it will match? It will just match 0 with 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, 1. Then 0.2 with 0, 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8 and 1. Similarly, 2 with 0.4 with all the numbers, 0.6 with all the numbers, 0.8 with all the numbers, 1 with all the numbers. So that is called cross product. Okay. So is this clear about lacing, or do you want me to explain again?
Once again.
Okay. So as I said, lacing means it just pairs each item in list with all the items. Okay. So previously it were in the shortest, right? So it just finds the shortest value, which is, so let me keep like this. So you know this red line represents X and this green line represents Y, but we are using U and V. So you know what is U, V and W, right? So it's a local coordinates which is only applicable to this solid or surface, whatever it is. So what it does is, so the U means the axis which is similar to X is called U, and the axis which is similar to Y is called V. Let me copy this so that you will get an idea. Okay. So I have given a list of these points in U and V. Okay. So when I gave this cross product in lacing, it pairs each item in the list with all the items. Okay, in this list. So in this list we have what are the possibilities, maximum possibilities we can able to create with these 2 points, 0 and 0, 0 and 0.2, 0 and 0.4, 0 and 0.6, 0 and 0.8, 0 and 1. Similarly, from 0.2 to 0, 0.2 to 0.2, 0.2, 0.4, 0.2, 0.6. Similarly, it is trying to create the maximum possibilities with the both list. So that what creates a cross product like what you're seeing here. So I hope now you're getting.
Yes, I got it.
Okay. So before we move on to the next, I'll just okay, we can save this first. I'll just save as okay. So before we move on to the next step, let me tell you that we have 2 options to export the geometry that we are modeling the dynamo. Okay, so those 2 points are, let me close this one, or else okay, let it be. Okay, so as is, a dynamo can write 2 common 3D geometry file formats. Okay, so one is called STL, or else stereolithography. So it is a format, it's a solid model format for the 3D printing and rapid prototyping. So with this format, you can able to only extract solids and surfaces. You cannot export the curves, points, or any other data types. You can also just go to Google and search for stereolithography and you'll get this. So this is the format. You can see it's a form of 3D printing technology used to create models, prototypes, etc. So you can just convert the models that you're creating in the with the Dynamo, and you can export with to stereolithography or rapid prototyping. So both are almost similar. Okay, so first you can see how to do that. So for 3D printing, check whether it's a solid or not. So in this case, it's a surface. Okay, we can export surface, right? So let me turn this to, okay, let it be manual, automatic itself. Go to file, and you can see here we have the option called export model to STL. See STL, and you can just save. So Dynamo saves whatever is visible in the background 3D preview to an STL file format. So in this case, just a surface. Okay, and the second format is ACIS.SAT. Okay, so which is a commonly used format in conjunction with Revit massing tool. Okay, so for hosting elements like walls, floors, roofs, and curtain systems to geometry that is imported from other softwares. Okay, so basically it is used to exchange 3D data between multiple systems. And here also you can only export surfaces and solids only, no points and curves. Okay, so let's see how to do that. So first you need to turn this to manual in order to do that. Okay, because your Dynamo script can get crash, so it's always recommended to change to manual. Okay, so now we have changed to manual. So here we are not going to search for any options here. Instead, we are going to search for a node. Just search for export to SAT. Yeah, we have here. So this is the export to SAT, and geometry. Here we have the surface by loft. This is the geometry, and next is the file path. So just use a file path node, browse, and I'll just create a new one. Let's say surface.sat, and connect this to the file path. And here you have this option to change the unit. So whatever the unit you're using, that doesn't matter. If you want to change, you can use this to convert into feet or inches or whatever the units you want. So now click on when completed, and you can able to see the format surface.sat. As you can see, ACIS SAT, it's the standard. You can also search for this ACIS SAT. So this is the format. So these are the two formats that we can export with the help of Dynamo. So that's all for today's class, and for the next class we can able to see how to import the geometry from the Dynamo to the Revit and do some functions. Okay, so if you have any questions you can ask me now, or else you can end the session today. Any questions, anyone? Ankita, Donshri, Faiz, and who's this guest?
It's Mr. Adik, sir.
Okay, so any questions, anyone?
Not from me, sir.
No,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, so just practice what we have learned and we can see tomorrow. So this is Pragdish signing off until we meet again next time. Thank you.